Imagine this. What if men actually behaved like mosquitoes? Maybe mornings would begin with buzzing competitions instead of coffee, and nights would be a battle of who can get the most attention. By sound alone. It sounds funny, but this tiny creature we call a mosquito is actually one of the most successful survivors in nature. And if men mirrored their instincts, the world would be both hilarious and slightly terrifying. Mosquitoes have been around for millions of years. Dinosaurs vanished, empires collapsed, civilizations rose and fell, yet mosquitoes stayed. Why? Because they adapt. No matter how the climate shifts or how advanced we become, they always find a way. Maybe humanity should take notes. Now picture this. If men were mosquitoes, their behavior would change dramatically. Instead of buying perfume, they'd try to match blood types. Flirting wouldn't involve conversation anymore. It would involve thermal detection. Dating would look more like a heat map than a dinner date. Male mosquitoes are fascinating creatures. They don't drink blood at all. They feed on nectar. So technically, they're harmless, but still, they can be annoying. Sound familiar? Maybe some men saying, "I'm harmless," but showing up everywhere or simply following ancient instincts. The male mosquito is patient, strategic, and always alert. He listens, literally, for the right frequency. Female mosquitoes have a unique wing beat sound, and the males are tuned to detect it. Yes, the original music taste came from mosquitoes. If human males were that attentive, maybe half of modern misunderstandings wouldn't exist. Despite their size, mosquitoes are masters of survival. They don't rely on strength, they rely on skill. If men were mosquitoes, success would be measured not by cars or clothes, but by how efficiently they plan their moves. Less showing off, more clever strategy. Here's the funny part. Mosquitoes find their targets by tracking carbon dioxide. So the more someone talks or breathes, the more attractive they become. In nature, silence is survival. But to mosquitoes, noise means opportunity. If men behaved like that, some conversations would end very quickly. The mosquito world values speed. Males don't live long, but they live fast. They have no time for procrastination. If men followed that rule, "I'll do it tomorrow," would disappear from the dictionary. Now imagine a late night, a group of male mosquitoes gathered around a light bulb, each one buzzing to impress. It's basically nature's version of a nightclub. Maybe evolution has more humor than we think, but here's where it gets deep. Mosquitoes, despite being tiny, shape entire ecosystems. Without them, the food chain would collapse. They're proof that even the smallest can have massive influence. If men were mosquitoes, power wouldn't come from muscle. It would come from presence. In the end, mosquitoes teach us something important. Noise doesn't equal strength. Awareness does. Being everywhere isn't the same as making an impact. If men truly acted like mosquitoes, maybe the world would be quieter, but a lot more strategic.